Hello, good people. Happy Friday, TGIF. I hope you had a peaceful Friday. I understand today is December 13th and the Friday, but it's also we agreed this morning that today we're celebrating Taylor Swift's birthday. And happy birthday to all the Swifties. Now, thank you for joining me. This is our PM Actual News. I'm grateful for you for being here. Today, I ran a poll on all my social platforms just to realize that about 99% of my followers don't know that I go live. So, 6 months in, twice a day. So, thank you so much for being here. I will do a better job, I promise, to informing people that I do actually go live. And so, also, what we will be starting doing on Monday, we will stick to AM actual news, which will be longer. And you guys love my rants, so the rants will be there, I promise. Because I don't see any ability to have actual news in the morning. It's either the Today Show, Good Morning America, which is very like hee hee ha ha, but nothing really about the actual news. And in the evening, I know you have your beloved shows. You have Lawrence, you have Meadow, and I know you have sort of like you caught in between deciding what you want to watch. So morning news will be longer and we'll cover it. But also, your newsletter will come around 5 p.m. daily, which will include from Monday on an audio version. So you can tap on it. An audio version is essentially we're going to start a podcast with the audio version of the newsletter, which you can just tap and listen from the newsletter out or subscribe to podcasts. And I'll inform all you about all of that on Monday, which will allow you, to get your latest updates while you're commuting from work or running errands or, preparing a dinner, whatever you're doing in the evening. Right. So I think this way we can cover all day and also all day of the whole day of news, but also save your time because I'm all about efficiency. I will be aiming to, stream 24/7 and, because it's all about efficiency. If you dedicate 45 minutes or 1 hour of your time to my live stream, you should know that your time is spent wisely. And if you tap to listen to the audio version or you're reading newsletter, I know that your time is spent wisely. So that's the whole idea. Also, in the very near future, we're going to populate our evenings with the new show, which is called Beyond Politics, and it will feature conversations about anything but politics with leaders, with political leaders from the United States, but also around the world. I'm very excited about it. Let's meet our leaders on a personal level. Let's see who are those people, what drives them, what are their thoughts and dreams and prayers, and what likes, dislikes, and whatnot. Because politics is personal, but we never talk about the person behind the agenda. So let's do that. I believe we will meet people on a different level, which will help you first and foremost to shape your decision. All right. So again, thank you for joining me. Hey, Rosie Marie. Hey, Daisy Lou. Hey, Rosie Marie. Hey, Callie. Good evening. Good evening, Sierra. Good evening, Sarah. Good evening. Hey, everyone. Yay. Hello. Oh, that's interesting. Thank you, Daisy Lou. Yes, Sierra loves that. Yay! Thank you. No more cable news, Olga, not from a. Thank you, Sierra. Yeah, and I tried to tune in to cable news. I cannot do this. It's 5 minutes. My anxiety is through the roof because inside of me, I start arguing. Why don't you report on this? Why don't you report on that? Why is it always Mar-a-Lago? Like, it's like a reality show in Mar-a-Lago, and the cable news is what covers that reality show. It's like the life updates from reality show in Mar-a-Lago, It's kind of a weird thing, and I don't want to be part of it. So, good news though. Good news and very kind news. So let's start off right on a kind note. As part of her Joining Forces initiative, First Lady Jill Biden hosted a U.S. Marine Corps Reserve Toys for Tots event at the White House with local Marine Corps families. Dr. Biden was joined by the spouses of senior Department of Defense and service leadership members for the annual event, which aims to bring holiday cheer to military-connected children and families in need. And I have the sweet pictures. Come on, guys. This is Jill Biden talking. But so the event began with remarks from Lieutenant General Leonard Anderson, the fourth commander of U.S. Marine Corps Reserve, followed by a speech from Dr. Biden, as you see here. After the speaking program, the First Lady participated in sorting toys with military children that would be distributed to families in time for holidays. So you see them here. The event began with, kids pouring into the East Room of the White House, running through a very beautifully decorated White House. And so in 2023, Dr. Biden hosted an event at the White House with local Marine Corps and military connected families. The Toys for Tots program, created in 1947, expanded nationwide in 1948, and is an official activity of the U.S. Marine Corps and deserves as its premier community action program. Over the years, the program has distributed more than 652 million toys to over 291 million less fortunate children. Each year, local campaigns are conducted in over 800 communities, spanning in all 50 states, DC, Puerto Rico, and Virgin Islands from October through December. So deep dive, some just cute interactions between Dr. Biden and the kids. Like, she asked them, what's your favorite part of the White House? It's so beautifully decorated. You see here lights and trees and everything. They said hot chocolate. So, and then the press, which was a good question, they asked Dr. Biden what was her favorite toy growing up. She said Barbie. And then she circled back and said, no, actually my bike. It's very cool. So again, a whole sort of description and color, as we call it, is in your newsletter tonight. This is the first story that I would love to begin the newsletter with, to show you, because let's keep that in mind, because next year, I don't think so. I don't think that will be happening. Remember the story with former First Lady who said, my favorite meal on Christmas is salad. Where do you like spending Christmas? On an island, on the vacation. So I'm going to get more of that. Agree, Lawrence is best, but sadly alone in journalism. Let's stay on track. We will connect. We will connect with Lawrence now. Sierra, yeah. I love it. Look at those sweet kids. Yeah, so sweet. And it's very loud and it's so cute. They're like, my favorite thing is hot chocolate, which is pretty good though. I had it at the White House last week. So now, upcoming events for Dr. Biden and Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, for next week, not together, separately. There is a speech that President Biden will deliver on Monday. Under embargo, so I'm not going to talk about it, but it's pretty important. Then also on December 16th, which is Monday, First Lady Jill Biden, who spent 40 years as a classroom teacher, will host a virtual thank you event for educators in collaboration with the American Federation of Teachers, the AFT, and the National Education Association, NEA. The event aims to recognize the dedication and hard work of teachers across the nation, highlighting the First Lady's longstanding commitment to education. The following day, December 17th, Vice President Harris will travel to Prince George's County in Maryland to speak with young leaders who are actively engaged in their local community. So during this event, she will address the importance of sustained civic engagement and the ongoing fight for the future. So her remarks will emphasize the need for young people to continue advocating for positive change and to stay involved in shaping the nation's future. So this is the good news, the peaceful news. Now let's get to the actual news. I don't know if you're a fan of daylight saving time. I'm a fan of actually the time that we're in now. I guess, what is it? That is the daylight saving time, which is pretty popular, right? The standard time is what less popular among the population. But President-elect Trump, you got it twisted, I guess. So U.S. President-elect Trump said on Friday, the Republican Party will use its best efforts to end daylight saving time because it's inconvenient and very costly to our nation. Usually, in Europe, they also discuss that, but they would rather stay with daylight saving time and not to spring forward, right? Coming spring and summer. So I don't know. Let me know what you prefer. Vampires. Indeed. Okay, so other thing about New York and New Jersey drones. As recent as an hour ago, we have a bunch of those goddamn SUV-sized drones over Bronx in New York. So like very close to the city, very close to the skyscrapers. I don't know what the heck is going on. So Governor Phil Murphy, the governor of New Jersey, wrote to President Joe Biden on Friday expressing growing concern over an increase in drone sightings in New Jersey and requesting additional resources for investigation and response. Meanwhile, Governor Kathy Hochul confirmed that drone sightings in New York are also being looked into. Can we? Yeah, they're reproducing, Daisy Lou. Yeah, they're mating and reproducing. Can we know what the hell is over our heads? And those drones are loud. We had it at some point. I thought it was like NYPD helicopters. If they lose a person, they start like circling, above your house. It's very much concerning. Can we shoot one and see what the hell that is? And you don't have to shoot it over a family house, because that's the main concern here that I hear again on mass media. Oh, we can't shoot it because it will kill family of 6. Don't shoot it over a family of 6. Shoot it over a forest or like a field, whatever. We have all of it. Or over a river. We have a lot of that situation here going on in New York, at least. So in other news, Nancy Pelosi, former U.S. House Speaker, is 84, has been hospitalized for evaluation following an injury sustained during a trip to Luxembourg. Her office confirmed on Friday Pelosi, the first woman to serve as Speaker of the House, stepped down from her position in 2023, but she has been reelected for her new term that she will begin on January 3rd. Pelosi played a pivotal role in passing key legislation, including President Biden's $1 trillion infrastructure bill in 2022. But let's not forget, she was one of the main instigators of passing the torch movement. So we wish her the best and a very speedy recovery, and I'll update you on anything that will be released. The rumor is that she fell down the stairs in the palace in Luxembourg, and so hands had to be hospitalized. There's a picture, like a group picture of people standing, and she's sort of like holding on to person next to her. So looks pretty like hurt. She's choosing one leg to kind of stand on. Looks like she's in pain. Maybe that's the picture afterwards. So she's hospitalized for evaluation. So it's nothing worse, at least from what we know. Other news, which is connected to Biden-Harris administration, to put it, to make it clear. So the U.S. is set to hike tariffs on Chinese-made clean energy products, including solar wafers and polysilicon, from 25% to 50%, as well as raise levies on certain products from 0 to 25%, effective January 1st. U.S. Trade Representative Catherine Tai stated that the decision aims to further blunt the harmful policies and practices by the People's Republic of China, signaling a continued push to address China's trade practices in the clean energy sector. Now, something that if you have missed our AM actual news, I want you to check out this video. It's only 18 seconds long. Canada is considering to passing tariffs or approving tariffs against us in retribution to Trump's plans, which will be affecting certain states. Take a listen. This is the representative from the Canadian government, and let me show you the video. Take a look.
Will go to the extent of cutting off their energy, going down to Michigan, going down to New York State, and over to Wisconsin. I don't want this to happen, but my number one job is to protect Ontarians and Canadians as a whole, since we're the largest province.
So this was the Ontario Premier. Very pinky. I like the pinky stuff. But the message is anything but pinky. It's serious business. I don't know what we're playing with, and maybe those Democratic states, planned to be somehow penalized for what? Let's see. Let's see. I'm curious what's going to happen. The big rumor is also in Mar-a-Lago that Trump is not approving anybody that lately, as of late, that Elon Musk is pushing for. And so Musk is freaking out, and there's tension in Mar-a-Lago again. But if you are looking for updates on the reality show in Mar-a-Lago, probably CNN and all those folks can update you way better than I can. Now, have you bought that Stanley Cup? This is not part of your newsletter because our newsletter goes all around, but we had this hype about those Stanley cups. Remember? Went viral. People are buying it. People are walking with this large cup. I'm European. My coffee cup is this. So I can't, but to each their own. When I was in college, I carried that thing too. So if you have one of those, keep in mind that Stanley is recalling 2.6 million stainless steel mugs after receiving 91 reports of lids detaching during use, leading to 38 burn injuries, 11 of which required medical attention. The Consumer Product Safety Commission found that lids threads can shrink when exposed to heat, causing the lids to detach, posing a burn risk. So recalled mugs, the affected mugs feature the Stanley logo and have specific product identification numbers printed on the bottom. So switchback 12 ounces have different numbers. If you're interested, I'll put it in your newsletter, but let me know if you own any of those cups so I don't bother you with the numbers. But it concerns all the mugs from 12 ounces to 16 and 20. So if you own one of those mugs, stop using it and contact Stanley to receive a free replacement lid. So they found a way to solve it without having sort of like a class action suit. Now, Elon Musk continues to be a key figure in President-elect Donald Trump's orbit, although, amid the tensions, playing a prominent role in commission tasked with cutting government spending. So the Doge thing. This commission, co-led by Musk and Vivek, aims to implement significant reductions with a focus on agencies like SEC and IRS, which have become major targets for Musk and his allies. He doesn't like to pay tax and he doesn't like to be investigated. Okay, let's put it this way. Musk has been outspoken in his criticism of federal regulations or regulators, particularly the Securities and Exchange Commission, accusing the agency of political bias. Quote, the SEC is just another weaponized institution doing political dirty work, unquote, Musk posted on X, referring to recent appeals court ruling that blocked NASDAQ's diversity requirements for corporate boards, a decision that resonated with conservative critics. Ramaswamy also weighed in, dismissing the SEC as a legitimate law enforcement body after its repeated legal defeats. In similar notion, Musk took aim at the IRS last month, polling his ex-followers about what to do with the agency's budget, with the overwhelming response being deleted. These ongoing attacks highlight the growing tensions between Musk's camp and the federal agencies overseeing his business and financial interests. Well, folks voted to run this as a business and run this government by billionaires. The last thing on billionaires' list is paying tax. So eliminating IRS is, I guess, part of it. Now, the problem is, what if you are trying to navigate the budget, right? You want to cut the spending, so you want to increase the budget. How does the budget build up together? If we don't have the IRS, if nobody's overseeing the tax payments, what's that budget from? Anyway, now, remember I said, or I reported on Macron losing his prime minister because they couldn't agree on the budget. So there was a confidence vote. And so he was sort of put away. That prime minister who, to responded to Trump's hello by turning away at the Notre Dame Cathedral at the reopening ceremony. So, French President Emmanuel Macron has named centrist ally François Bayrou, 73, as the new prime minister in a bid to overcome political gridlock following the ousting of his former premier over disapproval of a budget plan. Bayrou's appointment comes after extensive talks with various political parties, excluding the far right and far left, reflecting Macron's efforts to find common ground. Bayrou's first major challenge will be to secure support for a new national budget, with negotiations already underway to gain backing from Socialist Party. His government is expected to tackle urgent issues, including France's fiscal policies and the broader challenges facing Europe, including Russia's invasion of Ukraine and global trade tensions. He is set to announce his cabinet in the coming days. This marks the latest chapter in a very tumultuous political period for France, with 4 prime ministers since January. Speaking about firing people fast. Now, Finland, on the other hand, approved 26th defense support package for Ukraine amid those ongoing Russian attacks. And the Russian attacks are directed at civilians, but also the electric grid, which is very critical, especially in this winter times. Ukraine has snowfalls. The temperature is, in very low digits. It's freezing. So people are heavily relying on electricity and also on heat. So Finland has approved 26 defense support package for Ukraine and is already preparing the next one, as announced by Finnish President Alexander Stubb during a phone conversation with President Zelensky. Zelensky expressed gratitude for Finland's consistent and principled support since the onset of Russia's full-scale invasion. The Ukrainian leader also updated Stubb on the aftermath of a recent large-scale Russian attack on Ukraine's energy infrastructure and highlighted the urgent need for additional air defense capabilities. In response, President Stubb affirmed Finland's continued commitment to strengthening Ukraine's air defense systems. Now, all in all, honestly, when we talk about Ukraine, the conversation is very pessimistic. Per guesstimations and estimations and Ukrainian authorities, if they were not to receive help from the United States, assuming EU is not going to increase their help, because countries that have direct interest, countries like Finland, like Poland, like Baltic states, who are heavily, and Netherlands as well, who are heavily contributing to Ukraine's defense budget. Not everybody in European Union does that. Also, Hungary, led by Orbán, Putin's puppet, is also not contributing and vetoing a lot. So if this were to speed this way, minus the US aid, they would be able to fight until spring of 2025, which is very, soon. US again claims that Ukraine is running out of soldiers and pushing Zelensky to start recruiting folks who are 18, perhaps even younger, to which Zelensky's argument is, we don't have weapons. So do you want me to recruit more kids to literally go die? Let's get the weapons and I'll recruit. So it sort of starts being this, chicken and egg, what comes first, but we're not moving anywhere. And Trump is coming soon. And Trump is not, the latest, as of very confidential sources that inform me that Putin doesn't want to negotiate giving up the territory that is under his regime that was annexed by now. He's not willing to compromise in any way, and he is getting very impatient with Trump. He thought that Trump will literally get what he, what Putin wants him to get as soon as possible. So I guess come January 20th, if Trump doesn't get him the deal that Putin wants, Putin now says that he will not negotiate at all. So, the longer we wait, the weaker Ukraine becomes. Now, as Russian forces now advance toward the city of Pokrovsk in eastern Ukraine, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte warned that Russia is preparing for a long-term confrontation with Europe, urging European nations to increase military spending. His remarks came amid escalating tensions and ongoing Russian military actions. The U.S. responded by unveiling this $500 aid package that I reported on Monday. Now, these developments highlight, or Wednesday, right? Now, these developments highlight the continued international efforts to bolster Ukraine's resilience as the conflict with Russia intensifies. But again, more to come, and we'll see how Trump will affect it. Sarah says, I think more than eliminating IRS, they want to eliminate free filing. Apparently, the owner of Intuit and TurboTax initiative. Yeah, but also think about it. The free filing, that affects the poor folk, right? In Musk's interest, they want to actually charge the poor folk. That's where the budget will come from. They don't want to be charged. That's why IRS is, a hindrance, and it's literally in their way. So I think they will allow us to file free, and will push us to file, and eliminate whatever the rules we have now, so they will not be charged. Again, let's see. Now, Israel prepares troops for extended stay in Syria. And listen, 3 days ago, what was it? Monday, I was the one that said, listen, let's not celebrate. Let's celebrate for Syrians. Yes, they're freed from jails. This is huge, really. People are got rid of this cold-blooded Assad regime. Horrible, disgusting. Today, all the priests together, like different religions, marched today on the streets in Syria. It was wonderful. And I'm really praying for liberation of Syria. The problem is, who is going to lead? Now, HTS is talking with Russia. I think I have a readout on that. To allow Russia to keep those military bases that are now cut off from their even access. HTS is pretty much trading the access to Syria, right? Working with Qatar. Maybe Qatar will pay, maybe China will pay, maybe Iran, so all of it. So minorities like, yes, Kurds, and we heard from journalist who serves the Kurdish demographic in one of the newsletters recently, and also I read it out here twice. But also minorities like women. Will women's rights be represented, or is it going to turn into something like Afghanistan? So we'll have to see. Now, Israel took over that one mountain that is close to their border to have a say, allegedly, to have a say in what type of regime will build itself up in Syria. Now, the latest is Israel has ordered its troops to remain in a previously demilitarized buffer zone through the winter, awaiting the establishment of a new force. This move comes as the group of 7 leaders met today virtually to discuss Syria's political transition. Meanwhile, Russia has made contact with Syrian rebels in an effort to maintain control over its military bases in the region, according to Russian news agency Interfax. The shifting dynamics highlight the ongoing complexity of Syria's conflict and broader geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. Yeah. No way, Jose. So, anything else do I have to read out? Yes. So, lastly, again, if you haven't watched the AM actual news, I haven't repeated anything. Go back, watch it. Just premiered this morning. So, next thing is that United Arab Emirates, the UAE, is considering hosting a January investment summit focused on channeling Gulf funds toward Italy's development projects in Africa, according to Bloomberg. Now, why is that important? This initiative is part of Italy's strategy to address undocumented migration from Africa by promoting financial investments in key African countries. The summit aims to strengthen economic ties between the Gulf and Italy while supporting sustainable development efforts in Africa. And this is how you actually conquer illegal migration, because you want to see what's at the source of the problem, and you want to resolve the the reason behind people fleeing their country, not putting people in jail. The latest on mass deportations and that whole idea, from what I've heard, for instance, in New York, they've built large camps where that hosted those illegals, right, as they're waiting for their proceedings. And so what they're doing now, they're closing the biggest facilities in New York on January 13th, a week before inauguration. Why? Because the authorities say is that they will be relocating those migrants into state-run shelters. We have homeless shelters with different. We have also women's shelters. So they're going to allocate space for those migrants into state-run facilities to eliminate or prohibit ICE from direct access to those well-known and prominent sites that host migrants in New York State and in New York City. So this is what they're doing. They're preparing. They have announced it. So that's what at least New York can do now, which just shows that all this threats about mass deportations, not threats, it's actually plans. On the other, what do I have? Okay, to finish on a happy note, here's a cute video of cats and children. Because I know you guys complain that it's so sad and everything is so pessimistic. But again, this is actual news. I wish I could just make things up and just, report it in a funny, funky fashion. But I just stick to actual news. They're good news, right? We saw the kids with Dr. Biden. We saw things, But, my job is to have actual information for you. So finish on a good note to sort of like cleanse the palate. Here's a very cute video with kids and cats.
And then Abby's cat went out. It's looking like cheese.
What am I listening to? Oh, thanks. I'm listening to.
Where's George?
Yeah. Oh.
You're my best friend, yeah, hey, you're my best.
It took me a while to find a video without background music because I'm always banned for any type of music. So thank you for joining me. I wish you a peaceful weekend. Stay warm. Let's focus on the holiday cheer. Tune out the news. I know you like watching your programs. Sometimes, maybe. Lawrence, right? Meadow. But even so, tune it out, right? Go for a walk, prepare for holidays, sleep, spend the time doing whatever you want to do, alone, with others, whatever floats your boat. Just don't hurt anybody, including yourself. But please, give yourself space from the news, from all the crazy stuff, because I know January 20th, that will become our reality. So let's enjoy the time that is left in peace, right? So let's please focus on peace. That's my humble suggestion. Okay, so I wish you a very peaceful weekend. Have a great weekend. Yes, Sarah, have a great weekend. Daisy Lou, thank you. Best wishes for a relaxing weekend, everyone. Absolutely. Remember to like the video. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for reminding. So please also check your newsletter, Peace and Light. Exactly. Amen to that. Please subscribe to your newsletter. Will be sent out right away. It's ready. honest.substack.com. Again, was a wake-up call for me to find out that 90% of people, or like 99% of people, don't know that I go live. Now, I do. We also have we'll have the podcast and interviews and everything coming up. Our app is ready. I will premiere it when I know it's right to premiere it. So I have my reasons for it. So it will come soon. Now, honest.substack.com. Please go subscribe. There's actual news. You can also read all the newsletters. Those are daily. You're not going to, if you subscribe today, you're not going to see today's newsletter. You can go back and read all the news. as far as June or July. You don't have to do it. But the newsletters have videos and quotes, and it's not boring. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. See you Monday morning. Have a peaceful weekend.